Episode 2. You stayed it too long hoping there would change. One of the most deepest forms of heartbreak is watching someone repeatedly show you who they are, while you keeping loving them for who they could not become. You saw the potential. You saw the glimpse of your tenderness, moment of effort, temporary change, and you hold into those moments like a promises. But some people only change long enough to stop you from leaving. Welcome back to the Inner Flame Broadcast, where we expose the wounds hiding beneath love, attachment, trauma, and emotion survival. Today's episode is called You Stayed Too Long Hoping They Would Change. The dangerous power of the potential. The dangerous power of the potential. Many people are not in love with the reality. They're in love with the possibility. You keep telling yourself they are maturing. They did not mean it. They had hard life. Maybe if I love them harder. Maybe if I stay patiently. And slowly hoping become emotionally captive. Because now you are no longer loving who they are consistently. You are emotionally investing in future vision of them that maybe never alive potentially is dangerous. When it keeps you attached to the pain, especially when the person only changed temporarily after hating you. The cycle created confusion, pain, apologize, infections, hope, the pain again. And eventually, your heart becomes addicted to the waiting for good moment between emotion storms. You cannot heal someone who refuses accountability. Love cannot force transformation. You cannot support healing and encourage growth. Pray for someone standing beside them, but you cannot heal a person who protecting their dysfunction more than your peace. Some people acknowledge your pain, cry about losing you, promise changing, but never truly confront the behavior, destroy the relationship. Because accountability requires ego death, and many people would rather lose the relationship than lose the plight. You become emotionally exhausted, try to carry the weight of two people's healing. But the relationship only survives when the both people are willing to grow. You cannot be the only one self-reflection when the other person keeps repeated distractions. Trauma bound feel like the love. Sometimes the reason you stay wasn't love alone. Sometimes it was emotion attachment, formed through inconsistency. The high felt powerful because the lows were you painful and your nervous system become trapped in a survival mode. You starting craving moment of infections, emotion resources, emotion reassurance, temporary peace, random kindness, because inconsistency makes small moments feel like bigger than they are. That is why toxic relationship can feel emotionally addictive. Not because they are healthy, but because your soul becomes conditionally to chase relief. And many people confuse emotion intensity with a soul connection. But chaos is not intimacy. Fear of abandonment is not love. Begging for emotion saved is not romance. You are trying to save the relationship alone. There comes a painful moment when you realize I've been carrying this relationship by myself. You were initially in communication, fixing argument, apologize first, suppressing your feeling over understanding their behavior, excusing repeated wounded. Well, they become comfortable receiving effort they never fully returned. And the saddest part, you starting abandoning yourself to avoid being abandoned by them. You silence your need and lower your standards, ignore red flags, betray your initials because losing them felt scary than losing yourself. But healing begins when you finally understand love should never require self-insure. Closure comes from acceptance. Some people spend years waiting for a better apologize, emotional maturity, consistency, honesty, closure. But a closure often begins when you stop expecting transformation from someone committed to remaining the same. That truth hurts because it forces you to grieve the fantasy, the potential, the future imagined, the vision of them you hoped would appear. But healing started when you stop falling in love with the possibilities and starting honoring reality. People review themselves through patterns, not promises. And your soul deserves relationship where effort is maturing, not one-side survival. If this episode speaks to your spirit, remember this. You are not weak for staying. You are hopeful. You believe love could heal what accountability refused to confront. But there comes a moment where choosing yourself becomes the deepest form of healing. Not because you stopped loving them, but because you finally starting loving yourself too. Some people keep you emotionally attached by giving just enough hope to stop you from living, but never enough change to truly heal the relationship. This is the Inner Flame Podcast. Protect your peace, honor your spirit, and never let your inner flame die. God bless you. Subscribe and like and follow me for more.